Hey everyone. Um, I thought while I had a few minutes today, I would sit down and I would make a video. And the topic that I decided to talk about today is storm magic. Part of the reason I chose storm magic is because I live, here in the South, and I live on the coastal area in the South, and I'm trying not to say exactly where I stay, but I'm pretty sure you can hear my voice and I'm from the deep South. But this time of year, this is actually like hurricane season for us, or going into hurricane season. And that's one of the drawbacks of living, along the coastline is, hurricane season. But as it approaches, before we get into hurricane season, we also go through a period of thunderstorms, and that's where we are now. So that's how hurricane season is well on its way. But on a positive note, until it gets here, you have many, many opportunities to dabble in storm magic. And I love storm magic, and I'm sure if you have a love for thunderstorms or rain, or you will like storm magic as well. It's nothing complicated, it's nothing hard. In fact, any type of magic that you do, it's just as hard and complicated as you make it, because everything is based on our intention. And like I always say, if you believe, you will receive. And I mean, it's just that simple, because our magic, you're trying to manifest some type of intention, whether it's your intention, whether it's an intention for someone else, someone else's intention, but you're always trying to manifest an intention. And all that is a desire or a want, something that you want to bring into existence, something you want to make happen. And, all intentions aren't good and they're not all positive, but I believe that, I believe in karma, and I believe, you get what you give. If you do positive works, all your life, you're going to be rewarded one day, with some type of positive work, whether it be in the life you're living now, whether it be in the next life, whether it be in the afterlife. But if you do positive works, you will be rewarded with positive blessings. And I truly believe that, and if you do harm to others, harm will come back to you. And I believe in the threefold law. But, just because I believe in those things, that doesn't make it, to where you have to believe or you have to agree. And, I say this a lot, and I know I repeat myself over and over, in a lot of my videos, but it's important. It's really important, it's just this craft, it's just the beauty of it is, you can make it your own. There's no right way or no wrong way. Everything that you do and everything that you work with, everything that you manifest, everything that is an extension of you is an extension of the goddess, and so on. And it's all buried in your heart. Everything you need is within your heart. And all you have to do is just learn to pull from within. And that's your magic right there. Just pull from within. But moving on, back to storm magic. Like I said, living here in the South this time of year, we are experiencing a huge amount of storms. And storm magic, it's a it's not positive and it's not negative. It's it's both. You can work positive magic through storm magic, or you can work negative magic through storm magic. That's entirely up to you. But like I say, whatever you decide to do, please think it through and remember, whatever you put out there, you're going to get that back. And sometimes you might get it back a little more than what you intended to, but everything you put out there, you get it back. So just remember that. And, storm magic, it's a very strong magic. In fact, I think probably two of the most powerful types of magic you can even work are storm magic being one, and the other orgasmic magic. And the reason I say that is because both of those types of magic are fueled with so much energy, raw energy. And storm magic is just filled with energy from all of the elements, from nature. It's just so strong. It's a raw type of energy. And you can harness it, but you're not gonna, the very first time you do it, you're not gonna harness it then. You may come to grips with it, you may get a handle on it, you may, feel it, you may understand it a little more, you may like it, you may want to work with it again, but you're not going to harness it the first time because it's too great of a magic to harness. And I do know some people are gifted, and some people, you know they've learned, and I know some people, they're spiritually awakened, and I know some people's third eye has opened, some people haven't. Everyone is different. And some people are going to handle it better than others, some people are going to have to try harder than others, but it can be done. And with anything you do, practice makes perfect. So, like I said, if you don't get it the first time, don't get discouraged, don't give up, just try again. And each time you try, you'll get a little better, and then one day you'll realize, you're doing it, and it'll seem as if you're not even putting a whole lot of effort into it because you've learned. But I did want to share this with you guys. And I cannot remember the author's name, and I apologize. So if someone knows of this quote that I'm fixing to read to you, and you know the author, please drop it in the comments, because I have racked my brain trying to remember the author of this comment, and I just can't remember. But I can remember the saying. It just is something that stuck with me growing up. And every time I think about storm magic, every time I talk about storm magic or even do storm magic, I just think of this little phrase, and I just wanted to share it with you. But it's if you wish to see the sunshine, you must weather the storm. And I just it just stuck with me. I mean, I've always loved poetry, and I've always wrote my own spells. And for some reason, when I think of storm magic, this one little phrase always sticks in my head. And like I said, I just cannot remember the author, but I wanted to share that with you. And I think that that can be used to pertain to all aspects of life. If you wish to see sunshine, you must weather the storm. And I just think that's perfect for our theme today. And so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to quit getting sidetracked. Y'all have to forgive me. It's so hard, but when you're talking about this particular craft, I mean, there's just this leads to this, and this is intertwined with this. It all, it all comes together in the end. And but it's just, I love my craft, and when I talk about it, I get excited, I get sidetracked. I mean, that's just me, and I apologize. So let me move on. Storm magic. I was always taught by my grandma that when you are working storm magic, there's three, I guess, rules you need to follow, three guidelines. And the first one is, and I always say this can pertain to any type of magical workings you're doing, but always make sure your temper is in check. You have a good temper, you're in a good mood. You're not supposed to work magic when you're upset. Like, if you're angry, if you're filled with any fury, or you're to that point, to your breaking point, you need to stop, you need to breathe, you need to back away. Because just like love is a very powerful emotion, anger is a very powerful emotion. And and I know that when you're angry, you'll say things that you don't really mean from the heart. You'll do things, you won't think things through. You'll act before you think. And we're human. That's part of being human, is reacting to your anger. But beforehand that when you get to the point of no return, that's not always a good place to be. So if you're planning on doing any, spell work or anything of that nature, I suggest you back off until you get your temper in check. And the second thing, I believe, and like I said, this everything with this craft always intertwines, and this also, make sure you're of a healthy mind frame. You can't have a big ego. You can't just go into this saying, well, I know what to do and I can do this and I'm going to do this. Be confident, be positive, but leave the ego at the door. The ego's only going to trip you up and mess you up and cause you to make a mess. I'm telling you, the ego is no good. Be positive, be confident in all you do. But the ego, let go of the ego. And you can't control anything when you're letting your ego take effect and rule over everything. And especially storm magic, because it's a very powerful magic and it's not going to allow you to take over. So don't even go in with that mind frame, or letting your ego give you the big head. You always need to be humble in everything you do, and with this magic especially, be humble. And lastly, I remember my grandma used to always tell me this: be honest. Be honest with yourself, be honest with others. Don't go in to doing some type of magic and excuse me, and tell someone, you're gonna make this happen, knowing good and well you can't make that happen. We all have free will, but we can't bend someone else's will, and we surely can't go out there and control and harness nature. Nature is of the goddess, and the goddess, she's the most powerful everything. She may allow us to work with her, she may allow us to connect with her. She loves us and she wants to bless us, she wants to teach us, but she's not going to let us control her. She's not going to let us control her. She's not going to let us control her elements. She's not going to let us control her. So don't even go in there thinking that you can do something that you honestly know you're not capable of doing. Just be honest with yourself. And if you're working for someone else or working with someone else, just be honest with them. Like the old saying, honesty is the best policy. That is the best saying. It's the most accurate saying. And, it's perfect because it is. Um, I always think of storm magic, and I've got ahead of myself. I didn't even clear our space. So as I talk, I'm going to go ahead. Um, to me, storm magic, I've always looked at it as like a battery. You know, um, your battery charges your device and makes it work. And storm magic, that's to me, that's what it is. It's a battery. It's it's charging your intention, it's charging your work, it's just, it's a power pack. It's just full of energy, and it's just the battery. It's gonna charge all your workings. Anything that you do during your storm magic, of course, it's gonna be very, very powerful and full of energy. But as you do your storm magic, you can also incorporate other types of spell work into it. You can put forth, other intentions. Like I said, our craft, it all just intertwines, and one thing leads to another, and another leads to another. And with the storm magic, like I said earlier, it's very similar to orgasmic magic, not the ways that it's done, but per se, the strength, it's full of energy, it's raw energy, it's strong energy, it's a force to be reckoned with. You can, if you want to make something happen, and you want to make it happen quickly, and you want it to pack a punch, storm magic is your best way to go about working that type of magic. And like I said, sometimes I get excited when I'm talking about my craft, and I got ahead of myself and I forgot to cleanse my space. So please forgive me, but I am now. So it happens. But anyway, um, with storm magic, it's just so much. I'm trying to, get it all in there, but storm magic, when I do storm magic, everything you do, you have your way to do it. And that's it. It's your way, and you do it your way. But I'm just going to share my way with you, and if you want to use my way, please use it. If you want to, take my way and tweak it a little bit, or I'm just offering, my advice, my tips, anything that I've learned along the way, I'm just sharing it. So don't get upset if perhaps you do it a whole different way, and you can't say, well, I'm doing it wrong or you're doing it wrong. No, it's my way, it's your way, that's the way. It's, that's our craft. There's no right way, no wrong way. It's just our way, your way. And when I do storm magic, with any type of magic that I do, any spell work, the first thing I do is I try to remember to clear my space. But besides that, I meditate. And I know different magic is different, different levels, different strengths, But with storm magic, I feel like, you don't have to meditate for hours upon hours, but you do need to meditate long enough to where, you get centered, and you get your mind quiet, and, if possibly you can get your third eye to open. Some people just, they're not at that point of their life for it to open at all. And then some people, their stays open, it never shuts. But I believe mine, I think my third eye is opened. I know my third eye is open, but I don't think it's open 24/7. I think, during certain times, in certain things, certain situations, my third eye opens, and certain things will cause your third eye to open. And sometimes I've been laying in bed at night, just about to fall asleep, not a thought in my head, and then my third eye will open, and you can literally feel your third eye open, or you can feel pressure, you can just feel like a flutter, a tap, but you'll know that it's open. Sometimes you might get a headache just out of the blue, and then you'll feel the pressure as it lifts, and then your headache's gone, your third eye has opened. But sometimes mine will just open at the strangest time for no particular reason. And then sometimes I can meditate and I can do certain spell work and I can make it open, but it's not something I can do easily. And I've noticed the older I get, the harder it gets. You would think the older I got, the easier it would be to open it. But for me, when I was younger as a child, I noticed that then it opened more often and more frequently. And I believe, our diets and bad habits, things that we do in everyday life affects that. So maybe that'll be our next video with the third eye. But meditate. And I always say a good, time limit for your meditation is anywhere from 20 minutes to 40 minutes. Some people can meditate for like 5 or 10 minutes and they'll be, in the zone. But me, it takes me at least 20 minutes to get my bearings, for my mind to quiet down, for me to quit thinking of this and that, and just to get myself centered and quiet and get my mind cleared. It takes me about 15-20 minutes. And some people, they're not into meditation, but you're trying to, clear your mind. You're trying to possibly open your third eye, like ground yourself and raise your vibrations. And there's different ways to do it. Meditation is just my way, that works for me. Everyone is different. I've seen people, do yoga. I've seen people dance. I've seen people sing, I've seen people, do drums, get in the drumming circle, and, that's their meditation. But, everyone is different. But find your way to get your mind right, and, do that. Get yourself centered, get your mind cleared, and, get your vibration level up just as high as you can. And, because raising your energy is key in spell work as well. And then, focus. That is very important in storm work, is focus. You got to get your focus on what it is you're trying to manifest, what it is you're trying to work on. Focus and envision it. And, that's key. Seeing is believing, so when you can make yourself see something, it's helping you to manifest your intentions. So, get focused and envision, what it is you're trying to manifest. And I sometimes go outside during the storm, but I'm not suggesting that, because that is not safe. You can be struck by lightning, or depending on what type of storm is going on. So my suggestion to, if you want to try storm magic, is if you have a porch or something that is, closed in, or, you have a roof over it, or you could just simply sit by the window and open the window so you can hear it, you can smell it, you can, feel the mist from the rain. Your senses help you to envision as well. And, also you'll be sitting there experiencing all the elements of the storm. And, like I said, you don't have to be right in the middle of the storm to do storm magic, but yes, you are doing magic, during the storm of storm magic. But just be safe in all that you do. And I know me going out in the storm is not safe by no means, but that's me. And like I said, everyone works differently. I have a friend, and she used to go sit in her car during the storm. So, like I said, there's no right way, there's no wrong way. I'm just sharing, the way I go about doing it. And if you have a certain type of spell that you want to do during the storm, you do that. If you simply just want to sit there and manifest your intentions, you do that. If you just want to sit there and connect with the elements, and, connect with the goddess, you do that. It's entirely the way you want to do it, what works for you. And, there's different types of storms. So therefore, there's different times to do different types of magic. And like for instance, just a regular rainstorm, when it's thundering and it's lightning, those are my favorite, but they're perfect for doing any type of purification or cleansing, love spells, healing. You want to release negative energy or get rid of negative emotions, you need to work during a rainstorm. If you want to do anything that's of a mental type of workings, like sending a message to a loved one. It can be a deceased loved one. It can be a loved one that's, far away. It can be a loved one that you live with. They're right there. You can't communicate with them, or it's something that you can't say, physically say. You can send it mentally. You can send a message like that during a windstorm. It's going to be raining and lightning and so on, but that wind, that wind aspect, that element is going to help you with your mental type of spell work. If you have fears that you need to get over and let go of, if you're lonely, if you are sick, not just like a cold or something, but sick like a disease, or a major sickness. A wind type of storm is a good way to do that type of magic. Then there's snowstorms. I haven't did a lot of work during snowstorms, but I do know a snowstorm is a good place to do any type of protection work, or like renewal. If you want to start new, or you're beginning a new journey, whether it's a physical journey, emotional journey, spiritual journey, anything that you just want to renew yourself, renew your craft, anything of a renewing nature or aspect, snowstorm. And I do know, there's storms like it's a rainstorm, it's lightning, but a wildfire may break out. That's a firestorm. And I know that my grandmother used to always say during a firestorm, that's when you can do your banishment work, if whether it be just negativity that's taken over your life, some type of evil presence. I've even heard of people suggesting, like, when their house is haunted by spirits, or just any type of negative, energy, or, any attachment that's, of a negative nature, and you want to be done with it and get rid of it. Firestorm is a good time to do that type of spell work. And lastly, there is a storm that happens during an eclipse. I've never experienced that, and I do know someone who has. Only the one person, but I'm sure there's other people that have done, some storm work during an eclipse. But my grandma always said, because of an eclipse being such a powerful time, and it's just overflowing with energies, that you can do any type of spell work during a eclipse storm. Any kind. I've even heard of people doing, people that have been possessed by, entities and different things like that, that's harming them, that's negative. I've heard of people doing, you know, possessions, and banishments during those type of storms. I personally have never did any work during a eclipse storm, but from what I have learned over the years and what I have experienced with people that have done that, is that it's just so powerful and it's so overflowing with energy that you can do any type of spell work. And I just have a couple more things I want to throw in there right quick is, during storms, any storm, but especially a rainstorm, if you've got stones or crystals, put them out, let them be cleansed. Your tools, anything that you work with. I love to put my pendulum out during a storm because it not only cleanses it, but it charges it as well. But I can only just wrap it up by saying, if you do decide to do storm magic, you know, don't be scared and don't expect everything to just fall into place the very first time. You may have to do it a few times and get the hang of it. But when you do, it will be well worth it. And remember, a storm moves fast, so you better work fast. And I think that's about it for today. And if I said anything that resonates with anyone, please like and subscribe. And until next time, just remember, if you believe, you will receive. Talk to you later. Bye.